So, what better person to discuss that part of the Olympics with than the president of the Hunter Thoroughbred Breeders Association, the director of the Scone Equine Hospital, Dr. Cameron Collins. He's with us in our studios in the ABC in Muswellbrook. How are you going, Cameron?
Really well, Jill. Yeah, it's a great time of the year, isn't it? The Olympics and the horse's birthday, great way to start the month.
Exactly. So I was thrilled that you could speak to us on horse's birthday. I want to get in the end of this chat to find out what's actually going on in the Upper Hunter. But terrific if you could give us a sense of how Australia is faring in the horse events as they're being competed right now at the Olympics. Hugely popular. How are we going?
Look, we performed really well. Our three-day event team has come sixth overall. We had an unfortunate round in the cross country, and we dropped from second to sixth position. And then we didn't make that up in the show jumping last night.
Mm-hmm.
However, our riders performed very well. And when you look at those horses and what it takes to get a horse and rider combination to the Olympics over 4 years, it's an amazing effort to just get into the Olympics.
Yeah, well, it must be. Just to see the precision with which they ride, it's just another world altogether for me. But needless to say, I can just see Christopher Burton performing there on the telly for Australia. I guess that the Upper Hunter horse community relates to the horse events in the Olympics, as much as the broader community that lives on the coast relates to the swimming. Is that fair to say?
Oh, very much so, Jill. I think most of the people who work in the thoroughbred industry, which is where people make a living out of horses to a large extent in the Upper Hunter, most of those people love horses and work with horses and enjoy horses for their hobby and their pleasure and pastimes. So they are all glued to the telly, and they know what's going on with the Olympics, and they can tell you about the riders and the horses and what issues all of those horses have had to overcome to get to the Olympics as well.
I love that, and I'm glad you reminded me of that, that's a big part of our hunter, the broad breadth of our hunter community life. Do you know if there's any hunter horses competing this year, Cameron?
Look, not that I'm aware of, Jill, but there are people much more experienced than me in that area, so I'm sure you'll get some calls.
Good on you. Yeah, look, if you know of any horses that you're connected to, don't be shy to give me a buzz. 1300 33 1233, or text me on 0487 99 1233. It's 16 after 9. You're on 1233 ABC Newcastle. I'm Jill Emberson speaking with Dr. Cameron Collins, Director of the Scone Equine Hospital, President of the Hunter Thoroughbred Breeders Association. It's in that capacity, Cameron, that I was keen to speak with you this morning. You've newly taken on the role of President of the Association. What are your priorities over the period of being top dog, or should I say top horse?
Look, Jill, I think this is a very important year for the Hunter Thoroughbred breeders. The pressure that's coming on to the industry from open cut coal mining and coal seam gas is putting a lot of pressure on the thoroughbred industry and the operations that are here. I think there's competing land uses, and where our guys are businessmen, we understand that the two industries have to be able to work together, but we're looking for some certainty from the government at the moment to get some protection for our industry.
Okay, so there is a huge process in play to get that security. That's the strategic land use policy and its associated supporting policies. The draft of the policy is out. How confident are you that the process is right and that the draft is looking good?
Well, we think there's the state government has made a lot of progress in mapping the areas that are under threat and defining what the critical industries in the area are. And they've obviously identified the vignerons in the Lower Hunter and the thoroughbred industry in the Upper Hunter as critical industry clusters that need to be protected. From what we've seen, the legislation so far, or the proposed legislation, doesn't really give us any protection. It adds another layer of process for the mining companies, but it doesn't provide any certainty to our industry. And as I say, we're aware that this is a complex issue. Managing an economy is a complex issue. Understanding water and how that interacts with both industries is complex. But to be honest, we see the thoroughbred industry as a relatively small problem for the government to solve. You know, we know where the horses are. We know where they bred. They've been here for the last 150, 200 years. We know where the water is. The Pages River and the Hunter River are two of the most reliable watercourses in the state. We know how important the industry is, and we have a scientific evidence to say that open cut coal mining and the thoroughbred industry are incompatible land uses, especially if you're trying to do them across the road from each other. We think the government have pretty good evidence and are in a pretty good position to be able to solve that problem and provide some certainty.
Okay, but you haven't got that.
No.
What you've got is a process that's called the gatekeeper process for applications for licences to develop, to go through. That's the equivalent. That seems to be the best that the government's promising at the moment.
That's it, and what that potentially does is delay decisions until the mining company is at a development application stage. So potentially out for 5-10 years of uncertainty for people who are trying to invest in the thoroughbred industry, make decisions about the future of employing people, building infrastructure and things like that. And we think it would be in the interests of both parties, the miners and the thoroughbred industry, to have that decision-making process via the government brought much earlier in the process. So
okay,
it's done at an earlier stage.
Is that the position that you're putting to government?
Absolutely, that's the position we've been putting since the beginning. And we're in fairness to the government, we've had some support for those ideas, but it hasn't made it to the draft plan at this stage.
Okay, tell me this, Cameron Collins, President of the Hunter Thoroughbred Breeders Association, on 12:33 at 9:20. If you don't get that certainty, what sorts of things might that mean? Practically speaking,
the industry is fighting for its future here, Jill.
Is it that bad?
It absolutely is. This is not a case of
we don't
want it in our backyard.
You can't just pick up a stud and move, can you?
Absolutely not. And there's nowhere to move it to. The Hunter is unique in Australia and one of a few unique places in the world that has all of the right components for a world-class thoroughbred industry. It has the climate, the water, the landscape, the access to markets. All of the things that are necessary are here. They just don't exist anywhere else in Australia. So you can't pick this industry up and move it somewhere else. It will fade away basically if the large players leave because it's not commercially viable. Then all of the supporting industries and infrastructure and all of the small farms that tend to be family run and owned will fade away. People will have to find other things to do.
To your knowledge, and it's probably... and I mean, I've heard talk of the various big stud players. From time to time a rumour goes around the Upper Hunter that, so-and-so has been out scouting for property in Victoria.
Absolutely. I mean, the big operations are international operations. Their risk management processes would dictate that they need to be considering their alternatives. Victoria doesn't have the advantages that the Hunter Valley has. There's a breeding industry there that's large and established and has been there for a long time. But at the moment, 70 to 80% of the export horses that come out of Australia come out of the Hunter Valley. Half of the foals that are born in Australia are bred within 50 kilometres of Scone and the Upper Hunter. So this is a core part of where the breeding has to take place.
Interesting. So this to you, as president of the association, is a vital year.
Absolutely, absolutely. If we can get some certainty from the government in the next 12 months about the various, there are some 8 or 9 exploration licences and proposals that are underway that pose direct threats to the thoroughbred industry. If we can get some certainty regarding those, then the future of the thoroughbred industry is clear. And look, we're not suggesting that coal mining has to stop in the Hunter Valley, or that it's not a vitally important part of the economy for employment and for our export earnings. What we're suggesting is that there are a number of large coal mines where we could extract more coal that don't impact on the thoroughbred breeding, that could easily make up for the amount of coal that's supposed to come out of these other 8 or 9 mines around the area. So we're not suggesting that you don't mine, and we're not suggesting that you don't extract enough coal for the economy. What we're suggesting is that the approval of 8 or 9 small mines scattered around the Upper Hunter has a devastating effect on our industry. If you can take the production from those mines, or the potential production from those mines, and take it out of existing mines, then potentially you solve the problem for both people, because both parties, you have certainty for the thoroughbred industry, certainty for the coal mining industry, and an understanding that those areas that the thoroughbred industry is involved in are not available for coal extraction.
The one that people used to hail as the mine that was knocked on the head by the community was the Bickham coal mine, but it's looking to renegotiate its lease, and I understand there's been a huge petition to government against the Bickham coal mine. Give me just a brief update of where that's at.
Look, the Bickham coal exploration licence expired at the end of May, and the company have applied to underground mine the licence again. Now, we think this is a very simple solution for the government there. The issues that were present for open cut mining are exactly the same for underground mining in that area. It's too close to the river. It's right in the middle of the thoroughbred industry. There is no reason for it to go ahead, and we think that now that the licence has expired, the government could easily solve that problem and indicate to the industry that they understand our issues by not approving a reissuing of that licence.
If they do approve a reissuing of a licence, what will it mean? Will we see the fight all over again?
Well, we have no choice. As I say, we're fighting for our survival, so we will have to gear back up and make our point to the government and make our point to the next Planning Assessment Commission that assesses that mine.
Golly gosh, I bet you'd all be rather getting on with your business of looking after horses, breeding them and exporting them as you do. Cameron Collins, good to have you with us this morning. Just briefly, as we head to our headlines at 9:30, what are the kind of things that the horse community does in the Upper Hunter to celebrate Horses' Birthday?
There are a number of things. I think one of the nicest things is just watching foals running in the sunshine in the morning, on mornings like today, Jill, as the frost comes off the grass. The newborn foals tend to get a bit more active, and whether you're a horse person or not a horse person, I think the sight of newborn foals playing in the grass and playing with their mothers is just one of those things that warms your heart.
Even the hardest hearts would be melted by that, but on Horse's Birthday, it's a beautiful picture for you to paint for us right across the Hunter. Cameron, I hope the celebrations go well, and it's really terrific to have you pop into our studios in Muswellbrook. Let's do it again sometime.
Absolutely, Jill. You'll have to come back and see us again.
We will, don't worry. Cameron Collins, Dr. Cameron Collins, he's the director of the Scone Equine Hospital, one of the largest in the Southern Hemisphere. Yeah, an exquisite operation, and the president he is of the Hunter Thoroughbred Breeders Association on Horse's Birthday.